Hi Year 6, I've been really impressed so far with the amount of you completing the work, so please keep that up, and remember, if you've got any problems or struggling with anything, please let me know. Today we're carrying on with the area of the triangle, and we're going to use that to try and help solve some problems with some compound shapes. But first of all, same as usual, let's start off with a bit of a fluency. We're going to carry on with the Among Us maths. You have 30 seconds timed on the video before the answers will come up, or you feel free to pause the video and work your way through it first of all. So hopefully you spotted that the imposters were the purple one, which should have been 0.006. They had times by 10 rather than dividing it. And the red one, which should have been 11/18. It was the correct common denominator, but one of the conversions was wrong. So 11/18 should have been the answer. So first of all today, I just want to recap what we are looking at. We are finding the area, which remember is the inside of a 2D shape. Still some of you on last week were finding the outside. You were looking at the numbers on the outside and adding them together. That's going to find you the perimeter, the distance around the outside. We are interested in the area, so the inside of the 2D shape. We've been investigating the area of triangles, and the formula for that is the area equals BH over 2, and remember that just means base times height divided by 2. Also remember that we looked at how to find the height. The height is when the line from the base meets it at a 90-degree angle, and we call that perpendicular. So when two lines meet at a right angle, it's called perpendicular. So you need to do the base times the perpendicular height, and then remember, some of you were forgetting that step last week, you must divide your answer by 2, because if we imagine a rectangle, this is what we're thinking about, we do the length times by the width, where our triangle is half of the rectangle. So we need to do the base times by the height here, and then divide it by 2. So pause the video, have a look at these, I think there's 5 questions coming up, and then we'll go through them together. I've sketched out the first 4 questions, so now we can work through them together and you can mark your answers as we go. So let's look at the first one. The first one, we've got our triangle. Remember, we need to identify the base and the height. So here's my base, I know that is 8 metres, and I need to multiply it by the height. Now, the height isn't this length here, because remember, it meets at the perpendicular. So here's my right angle, so my height must be 6 metres. So 8 times by 6 divided by 2 is what I need to do. 8 times 6 is 48, divided by 2 gives us 24, and then don't forget your unit of measure, this one is in metres, so it's 24 metres squared. So that's the first one, well done if you got that. Let's go to question 2. So again, remember the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. My base is 3 centimetres, multiplied by the height. So where does it meet at a right angle? Here's my right angle, so I need to do 3 times by 6 divided by 2. 3 times 6 is 18, divided by 2, that gives us our answer of 9 centimetres squared. And then number 3 over here, this one was a little bit more tricky. So the base, you might think, was 14 centimetres, but I'm going to tell you it's not. Here, up here, is our right angle. Now it's quite tricky to spot, but that's our right angle. So that means that our base and our height are actually 12 and 7 centimetres. So we need to do 12 times by 7 divided by 2. Okay, you might have made that easier. You could divide the 12 by 2, so you've got 6 times 7, but our answer should be 42 centimetres squared. Okay, and then number 4, again, we need to identify our base and our height. This one's a little bit easier to spot. Here's our right angle, so that must mean this is our height. 5 times by 7 divided by 2. 5 times 7 is 35. Divide that by 2 gives us our answer. 17.5 centimetres squared. Well done if you got those. That's the first 4. Now let's have a look at the last one. Okay, this is the last shape. We still follow the same formula. So remember, area equals base times height divided by 2. So for this one, our base is here, 9 metres. And remember the 9 multiplied our height. Now be careful, it is not this side here. Okay, our height must meet at a right angle, perpendicular line which we've been given here, which is 5 metres to the highest point of our triangle here. So 9 times by 5 divided by 2. 9 times 5 gives us 45. Divide that by 2 gives us our answer, 22.5. Remember, we're looking at metres this time, metres squared. Well done if you got those. I now want you to have a go at applying that knowledge to finding the area of a compound shape. Now remember, a compound shape is just 2 shapes stuck together. So if I was you, pause the video, draw out the shapes yourself, split them into 2 shapes, find out the area of one, then the other, and remember to add your answers together. So pause the video and then we'll go through the answers together. Here's the first one that I've sketched out. You'll notice that I've added a little dotted line in here to separate my compound shape into a rectangle and a triangle. Now we need to figure out the areas of each side. The rectangle is nice and easy because we need to do length times by width. Now the length of my rectangle is 8 centimetres and the height 5 centimetres or width 5 centimetres. So the rectangle, the area equals 8 times by 5, which is 40 centimetres squared. Now let's think about our triangle. Remember, we need to find out the base and the height. The height of our triangle is where it meets at a right angle, so that part's nice and easy for us because it's 5 centimetres. This part, my length, I need to use what information I've got to figure it out. So from here to here is 12 centimetres, and I know from here to here is 8 centimetres, so we need to work out the difference. So the difference between 12 and 8 is 4. So now we can work out the area of our triangle. Remember, the formula for this is base times height divided by 2. So the base, 4 times 5 divided by 2. 4 times 5 gives us 20, divided by 2 gives us 10 centimetres squared. So I know the area of my rectangle is 40, area of my triangle is 10, area of my compound shape, I need to add them together, 40 add 10, the area equals 50 centimetres squared. Well done if you got that. If you didn't, why don't you rewind, see if you can do it again and have a look at the second one before we go through the answer. Here's the sketch of the second compound shape. So it's made up again of a rectangle and then the triangle on top. So just like last time, I'm going to start off with the area of my rectangle. To find out the area of a rectangle, we do length times by the width. And I've been given that information. So 12 times by 4, which gives us 48 centimetres squared. So the area of my rectangle is 48. Okay, remember we're looking at the area, which is the inside of the shape. We're not just adding up the outside. Now let's have a look at our triangle. So our formula, remember, is base times height divided by 2. We know the length of the base of the triangle because it's the same as the top line here. It goes all the way across. So the base of the triangle is 12 centimetres times by, we've been given the height here. Remember, it meets perpendicular, at a perpendicular point meets at a right angle, so it's 5 centimetres. So for this one, 12 times by 5, which gives us 60, But remember, we're not working out another rectangle, we're working out a triangle, so we must divide our answer by 2. 60 divided by 2 gives us 30 centimetres squared. And then don't forget our last step, to find out the area of the whole compound shape, we need to add both of the areas together. So 48 add 30 gives us the area of the shape. Area equals 78 centimetres squared. It's time for you now to go and do your task. You're going to be doing the same thing, so practicing the area of triangle, remember our formula, and then the second part of the task is to find the area of the compound shape. So remember, split it into 2 and remember to add your answer back together. Now there's a choice today. It's exactly the same activity, but I've put it on Purple Mash in a to publish, the same as you've been doing for the past few days. Or if you find it easier, you can go and find the same activity in your My Maths as well. So you only have to do one, they're exactly the same, but please let us know which one you have completed. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.